Hello lovely people, and welcome again to Steve's Long Stay Workshop, where things come to be looked at to be repaired. If they've been looked at elsewhere, I got into a bit of a mess. Christmas is coming, the pigs are getting fat. My granny lost a glass eye when she stuffed the cat. Meanwhile, in the workshop, things carry on as normal, even this time of year. I don't decorate my workshop. Anyway, no room for it. But as you may know, I'm one for tape recorders. And I've got a few coming up. This one cost a measly sum of £1. Come to me to be and got going again, and we're going to see if we can do it. It's pretty simple. And so tape recorders, like I said before, if you're going to start in this business and we want to repair everything, start with tape recorders. Always start with tape recorders. This is because tape recorders have a bit of everything in them. An oscillator circuit, 99% of cases, output stage, mechanics, the lot. A good place to start, for me, would always be tape recorders. Besides, I started on myself, so you know, it's between my childhood. Anyway, this is the latest one. It's Elizabethan LZ34. This particular machine, that cost me the sum of £1. That's inside there with the which is the operating instructions in the lid there. And that on there, I glue that back at the top there, but that'll wait until I've got most of the rest of it sorted. The deck itself is a BSR TD10. Now the TD10 deck, I just hold this one up a bit so you can see it. It's this 3-speed stage version of the TD2. If I can get it to come up so I can have a look. Oh. It's the 3-speed version of the TD2. There you are. You see, now the 3-speed version and the 1-speed version, which is the most common, they do have quite a lot of things in common. So most of the things I have to do on this one also apply to the TD2 deck as well, and the TD1, by the way, which is a rarer beast, but similar to the TD2 externally. I haven't got one, but I'm hoping one. This is TD10. There's also a TD20, but I think Fidelity played with those a bit, so we'll see. Those I'll put back on at some stage. Okay, so put those somewhere safe as well. Oh, these can go somewhere safe as well. Put them in there. There we are. That's come off, so we'll move that as well. And there enough. I'll get that done. This is the deck itself. Standard 4-track machine, 7-inch reels, dirty of course. What do you expect? And the on-off is on the treble control here. So yeah. Anyway, it's a standard machine. These are usually valves. This one certainly is. And what I do in these situations, I know that people will say anything better because this probably won't be very nice. But I would start. First of all, I'll just plug it in and see what happens. Well, the motor's going. That's forward. Okay, so that's obviously what we're looking at. that tells me that most of the amp circuit is okay. The magic eye is green all the way across, and it's quite dim, so that needs to be looked at. And so that is where we're starting from with it. It's quite it's a reasonable start for one of these. So I'll start as always with the tape deck. The control for speed is here. That's also jammed up. And so first thing we do in these situations is take off all the bits that need to come off. Oh, difficult we're on, but we're trying my best, and we take it from there. So we'll take out the screws, everything else, and yeah. Yeah. BSR were in a bit of panic with this deck, because at the time Calaro were bringing out 2 and 3 speed decks, so BSR went, oh dear. He said, well, that's what it said at Legend here, like, you know, we'd better get something to contribute with them, as it were. So they brought out this deck, and these basically are like a modified TD10. Most of the comments I make about this deck I will also make about the other deck as well, so that's coming along, and well, we'll see, as always. Christmas is coming. But also, that Russian set was the Russian sets normally are quite easy to work and usually very good, but I've had 2 swines, really have. No man, we get them, and so obviously we need to sort them out best we can. I was looking for a trick for the Iridium over there, by the way, but as soon as one or something like it is available, I won't be going into that one as well. Just with the same amount of panache as I go into everything else. Yeah, panache, whatever that means. Right, well, the cover's off in the end. Had to use a bit of brute force and ignorance, but it's off now. I didn't put it on camera because it's very much in me struggle with things. I don't like it very much, so there you are. But now at this stage, these decks, like the Thorns, of course, I must do one of those for at some stage actually. The play, the start and brine switch here is controlled by this spring here, yeah, on the top. It's hang on, I'll see if I can get something so we can have a look. Don't think we can, but you know, basically there's a spring here, a small spring, which has to be there, and it also that controls operation of this switch here, which is normally it's a lot looser, but this one is all gummed up. I mean, it's about 60 years old, this, you know, so I think we're going to allow it that. Also, what else? When you move it to forward, that one goes against there, like that, yeah. Comes off for play, which is there, and at that point it gets a lot less torque to here, and the drive belt. Okay, that's something else. By the way, on this also, the that switch operates this lever here, which goes up to there like that, and and that way that one moves across to pick up for rewind. Now, with all these machines, what happens is that the dust and the grease inside here goes rock hard, so it all has to be replaced. First deck is going to come out and be serviced properly all across. There don't seem to be any rust, but it's just dirt. Dirt's fine. Dirt's not a problem. Dirt can be cleaned, and also dirt it does tend to let insulate the unit, whatever it is, from other things. So dirt, although it looks bad, is in fact good. Okay. We're also another thing going to do at this stage. I'm going to switch it back on in a minute. I'm going to put a tape on and see if it plays. If it does, then it'll be a lot easier. If it's distorted, no problem. I've got something. Oh no, that'll be. As for the LZ34, the circuit diagram, I'll get that if I need it, but I've done a lot of tape recorders. I will get it because I was having it to hand. But if a proper engineer won't rely on it for everything, of course, and can work without, but was having it to hand. But if I've not got it, well, it doesn't really matter that much. These are very much of a muchness, these, so you know, I can probably guess what's in it valve-wise. I get probably in EM84, in EZ80 or metal rectifier, ECL82 or 6 and ECC83. That's my guess. We'll see if I'm right later on. But get a tape. Tape. Air tape. What is this one? It's World Record Club. These are safe specific. Okay, so give it some safe specific. Okay, so we're going to hopefully get some safe specific obviously out of this in a minute. Lace it up like that. Power goes back on, and we hit play. And it starts to play. Put the wrong speed here, but never mind. We'll see it. That hum is good. Most tracks work. This is a 4-track machine, by the way. Four-track machine. This means that. There we go. Right. Should be better for the speed now. Well, it's like an happy talk anyway. That means that most of this is still working, although there will be parts that have to be replaced on this, without fill. Nothing from the smoothing caps at all. That's good. Speed is mostly alright. Rewind. That goes forward, and there, yeah, back it goes. Will it will. Okay, great. So, therefore, this is a good candidate for restoration. Right, well, the cover's off in the end. Had to use a bit of brute force ignorance, but it's off now. I didn't put it on camera because it's very much in me struggle with things. I don't like it very much, so there you are. But now at this stage, these decks, like the Thorns, of course, I must do one of those for at some stage actually. The play, the start and brine switch here is controlled by this spring here, yeah, on the top. It's hang on, I'll see if I can get something so we can have a look. Don't think we can, but you know, basically there's a spring here, a small spring, which has to be there, and it also that controls operation of this switch here, which is normally it's a lot looser, but this one is all gummed up. I mean, it's about 6 years old, this, you know, so I think we're going to allow it that. Also, what else? When you move it to forward, that one goes against there, like that, yeah. Comes off the play, which is there, and at that point it gets a lot less torque to here, here, and the drive belt. Okay, that's something else. By the way, on this also, that switch operates this lever here, which goes up to there like that, and how and that way that one moves across to pick up for rewind. Now, with all of these machines, what happens is that the dust and the grease inside here goes rock hard, so it all has to be replaced. So the deck is going to come out and be serviced properly all across. There don't seem to be any rust, but it's just dirt. Dirt's fine. Dirt's not a problem. Dirt can be cleaned, and also dirt it does tend to let insulate the unit, whatever it is, from other things. So dirt, although it looks bad, is in fact good. Okay. We're also another thing going to do at this stage. I'm going to switch it back on in a minute. I'm going to put a tape on and see if it plays. If it does, then it'll be a lot easier. If it's distorted, no problem. I've got something. Oh no, that'll be. As for the LZ34, the circuit diagram, I'll get that if I need it. But I've done a lot of tape recorders. Then I will get it because I was having it to hand. But if a proper engineer won't rely on it for everything, of course, and can work without, but was having it to hand. But if I've not got it, well, it doesn't really matter that much. These are very much of a muchness, these, so you know, I can probably guess what's in it valve-wise. I get probably in EM84, in EZ80 or metal rectifier, ECL82 or 6, and ECC83. That's my guess. We'll see if I'm right later on. But get a tape. Tape. Air tape. What is this one? It's World Record Club. These are safe specific. Okay, so give it some safe specific. Okay, so we're going to hopefully get some safe specific obviously out of this in a minute. Lace it up like that. Power goes back on, and we hit play. And it starts to play. Put the wrong speed in here, but never mind. We'll see it. That hum is good. most tracks work. This is a 4-track machine, by the way. Four-track machine. This means that. There we go. Right. Should be back to better for the speed now. Well, it's talking happy talk anyway. That means that most of this is still working, although there will be parts that have to be replaced on this without fill. Nothing from the smoothing caps at all. That's good. Speed is mostly alright. Okay, rewind. That goes forward, and there, yeah, back it goes. Will it? It will. Okay, great. So, therefore, this is a good candidate for restoration. Well, the tape recorder is now apart on the bench. I've taken the unit completely apart. I noticed, by the way, that the speaker is on these, which is always handy because it's soldered. That's a pain in the ass, but there you go. It's a standard circuit for Elizabethan tape recorders in this era. One's ECL86 and the EC83, those there. That's the smoothing catheter there. Well, smoothing and reservoir cap, but we call it the smoothing can or the smoothing cap. The diodes here, in solid state. That's a transformer. That's the I think that's the output transformer there, which we know is okay. That's the switch. It has had a pot change. Here you see it, and it's actually, funny enough, it's got them on as well. So I might possibly look at changing that onto there. I can't say I'm sure what that is right now, but I think that's really much that I might change that onto there. It's new as well, so it's quite possible. The rest of it looks more or less okay. Yeah. Now, most of the problems we get with tape code like this are mechanical. Yeah. The most of them will need to come out and be cleaned, and the spindles as well. Now, the spindle for the take up is this one here, and it's taken. I think it must be that one there, yeah, and it will come off the top. That's the belt for the counter. Okay, so really it's basically now it's simply get inside it and have a good clean. That's the first thing we do. Also, what I'll do at this stage, again, a bit dangerous, but you know live once, you know, and I know what I'm doing. So don't. I do certain things here which you really you mustn't do quite the way I do them, especially if you're a beginner. I know only if one doesn't like electric shocks. I don't care, quite frankly, but that's me for you. Now on the ECL86, ECL86s, by the way, are very intolerant of capacitors on the grids going forward. Very intolerant of it indeed. So that's the first thing we have to look at. So I get a copy of the ECL86 up on the phone here, and we'll pin it, and we'll find out which one's ECL86, and find out from that what the pins are on the back of it. I'm afraid the ECL86s are expensive now. Why? I don't know. Probably because they don't because there weren't as many of them made. They were used a lot in Eastern European sets as well, by the way, just for the record, and that's something else. So, into the Barb Museum, E6, and GT and DT are pins 1 and 8. Yeah. With any valve, what you do, this is another E6, I think, that matters. If you hold the valve with its pins towards you, like that, yeah, and put the gap in the pins at the bottom, yeah, at the bottom like that, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, yeah. 3 and 4 are the heaters, so if you're not sure, there's always be continuity between 3 and 4. You can check that easily enough if you need to. Just find out exactly where it should meant to be, because some valves in particular do tend to have it not all that clearly marked on the board. So like this one here. So the two linked together there, so let's see what they are. Link to deck. And one of them is probably going to be the one of them is probably going to, I don't know if heaters go to deck on this actually. They might not. Again, I don't know. There's a lot I got a lot top of my head because, of course, I'm getting old, you know. But yeah, so yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10. Okay. Another thing you can do: plug the thing in carefully. Yeah. And wait. You don't have to wait for it to warm up, because of course it's got a valve. It's got a metal rectifier, so there's nothing there to really cause it problems. That's from that. Which is suddenly started to smoke for some reason. Try again. Smoke, by the way, sometimes you can let a unit smoke and it'll easily to the float. So smoke is not always much of a problem. In fact, smoke can be sometimes quite fun. So yeah, must have been that. Okay, right. So core P now, and what we're looking for with this now is any voltages on these pins here. Okay. There should be 3 pins with voltage on here, because this valve is what's called a triode pentode. So there's HT to the triode side and HT to the pentode side. So it's that one, and that one. I think it's that one. That one I think will probably be the triode. So coming back down here again now, let's take that off for a minute. Come back down here now. The two close to it, the two we're looking at here are of course anode and anode, the two anodes and the second grid. So yeah. Also the HT as well is on those, and the LT is on the pins. Also, if you're not sure, a quick way of doing it, which is worth doing it as well, is to whip the valve out and look at where the pins are. But moment I'm just looking to see where voltages are and where voltages aren't. So what comes out. And we'll look at the socket and we'll find out where the gap is. It's there. Okay, so it's so that one is 1. Okay. I think on the check. If you're not sure, always check again. Always check again. There, yeah. Okay. So it looks like that one there is pin 1. So pin 1. There you go. Pin 1 is of course the first grid. So one we need to look at. So again, on we go and see anything on that. Flat negative, that's okay. Okay. 2 is the cathode of the triode, which will go to deck. It does, I can see that. G2 of course is this one here. That's gone up now, but it's gone up because the valve isn't in, so that's something else which sometimes might fluctuate, but that's why. Those two together are in it, so that one, pin 7. The pin 7 is the one where that's virtually nothing as well. Okay, that's pin 7, that's okay. Now, I will look at that again with the valve in and see if the valve itself has been damaged, because these are very good at going into grid current. Grid current, by the way, is a leak inside the valve. So if you get that, then all you can do is throw the valve in the bin and get another one. There's no other way of doing it. On some people like to try and rescue the valve, but some cases you can. Been some work done on with UL41s, but generally speaking, it isn't really worth mucking about with. Right, anyway, now it's down, by the way. Let's put the meter up again. There you go. Put the meter up against something, or wait so we can see it. There we are. Can you see that? Can you see that? Can you see that? Yeah. So now, if you go here now, you see again, pin number 2 should be pin number number 3 should have gone down a bit in value, which as you can see there, it has. Okay, so that's pin 2. Now the one we want to look at is of course pin 8, which is this one here. Which is low again. So I might change the caps, I don't know, but they do seem to be okay in this, and they do seem to be also the Philips Mullard ones, and they generally are okay. So this board might well be okay. The smoke we had early on was this with touching extra case of that, and that, by the way, is still cold. So I think that'll be okay. Well, again, I'll check later on, but for the moment that's okay. So yeah, electronically this looks fairly good actually, but you know, when something comes back to life like this, we quite often get what's called secondary infant mortality, which is where things work for a bit then fail. But these boards are generally pretty good, so it might or might not happen. So now we simply have to look at to get the deck apart and get the cleaning underway. Turn it round, put it down like that, so we don't, there we go, okay. And have a look and see what needs to be done, needs to be done and needs to be changed. First thing we do is take off this this here, this bit here, like that, like that. Now these things, they do tend to go off and do their own thing, so always put them somewhere safe. Not the corner of the bench, by the way, somewhere safe. Like up there, and hope nobody comes in and knocks that. And there, of course, we put the thing on its side again like that, and this should, it comes out like that. Okay. Now again, here too, we need to take that bolt off there and make sure that that is nice and free as well. So that's the next thing to do. That, by the way, that belt, by the way, goes underneath there. So if you need to change one of those, you've got to take all this lot off, which I'll be doing here anyway. But fortunately, these decks don't normally have problems with those belts, apart from because all it does is sort out the torque on playback, so it doesn't do a right lot. So you know, as long as it pulls it, it's usually okay. So with these out on the bench, we're going to have to clean this up now. Simple enough. Get some towels from the kitchen, and get down to it. I'll use this. Never, by the way, spray stuff like that about near rubber and belts, because it isn't all that good for them. So never do what I nearly did there, and get a belt get wet with oil, because it doesn't do them any good. Okay, that's something else to watch for. Okay. Very important that never put never put oil where oil is not meant to go. This is another trick, by the way. The coil, that rag is now down inside there, you see, and so it's brought a load of muck out, so that is now polished quite clean there. I'll check actually by seeing if it goes freely onto there. Please, thank you very much. Okay, then go that way. Okay, so that goes onto there, and now here you see it's the same problem we get here as we get on the FTD2 and 3 decks, by the way, is that this on the FTD2 and 3 decks it goes solid, but on these it just stiffens up. So again, this one here comes up, comes out, and we clean under there as well. Being very careful, by the way, not to get any on the belt. So that comes out like that, and again you see, moving that back and forth now, you see, it moves this as well, you see, you can see it there, you see. That's what it does, you see. Again, this is the same on the TD2 deck as well. This is bad. This is going to need some more little elbow grease I've got to get it off. You know, I never fell for any of those tricks that they pull on trainees back in the day. You know, I never fell for tartan paint. I never fell for a tin of elbow grease either. I don't have a great deal of elbow grease because I only got one under on the stroke, but I usually manage. It takes me usually longer than normal. So up, thank you very much. Right, so now Give that a clean. Look at that, the dust has come off that. And then what has come off that, okay, fine. And there'll be plenty on both these holes here as well, by the way. So again, it's cleanliness is next to godliness with things like this. Says somebody doesn't believe in God anymore. There you go. By the way, the same applies up here actually with the other one. So got to do it on both of them. Okay, got to do this on both of them. I think we'll go and get some bags for the kitchen. Hang on a minute. I shall do just that. This one here is now back in there. I did it very quickly before I started the camera again. I'm sorry about that, but I get caught up in boots sometimes. But look now, you see, look how loose that is now. All of this, you see, loose in the cum, which is how it should be. The belt is back on, and if you go this fast forward, yeah, I think that needs a touch of rubber, and you've got some. I've got another. One of those down there actually, so I might swap those yet. I don't know. We'll see how that goes. But if we're going to rewind, now you see, look at that. Freeze the come. I'll add the touch in that now, and it goes straight away. That's how it should be. Now the rewind one is the same, but on this one, there's something else we've got to do first. We've got to take off this screw here, which takes off this, which is nothing but the belt for the counter. So again, I don't worry too much about that, but again, it's the same principle, exactly the same principle. Both these have to be free to move back and forth, yeah, like that, yeah. So now we get we'll do that, right, that'll come off now, yeah it is, right, so that can go off now. And now again, it's exactly the same before, so that can go up there out the way. And now of course we've got another one of these to do down here, and of course again it's exactly the same principle, exactly the same principle. Sometimes, by the way, with these you get a problem where the wheels are not balanced properly because they're not because the washers are not there, or they've cracked and gone. Easy enough to do. Take the spool off again and put one on, and it'll be fine. It's not a problem, that really it isn't. So now put the thing on its front like that, and you will see another one of these. So again, off it comes. I'll just give it a bit of that so you can see where I'm going with it, okay? So off this one comes the same way. Be gentle, by the way. Always be gentle, okay? I'll always make sure that the thing doesn't fly off and get lost. Okay, and so out it comes again. So that one now comes off there like that, and it can still have my screwdriver. No, it can't. No, it can't. I shall take that off there and put it up there with that. Okay, and now put the thing on its side again, and go for it. So on the hope that you can see. If not, I'll move the camera. Can we see that? Yeah, we can. So again, now that comes off all in one like that. Okay. And again, same applies. That actually is okay. You can give it a little spray, little squirt spray, like that. Again, and while this is off, I want to look at the speed control as well on these decks. Now on these decks here, the motor, which feels quite loose on this actually, it does feel very loose actually. That. Yeah, I'll give it a go, but that seems to be fairly loose now. Yeah, but this here moves that between those. You see there are three layers. Yeah, it's like a record player speed controller today. Okay, that simply goes between that one. That one and that one, like that. You see, very stiff, but again, it's just grease and muck and nothing else. So again, that's something else. So what I'll do, I'll clean that, and we'll take this out, give it a clean. But I won't put that back on until I've looked at the speed control while I'm here. Okay. I noticed there's that which might want to be looked at, and the speed control is here. So yeah, it looks like it's here. And again, maybe a spot of rubber in you as well. So again, this comes off carefully, always carefully. Don't want to fly off. Although some point probably one will. It's always the way. Big screwdriver. Bring it up. It's gone somewhere. So I'll. Oh, it's there. I'm okay. That was lucky. That was a lucky. There we go. That can go back up there and stay. You know, I had a friend in the church. I still got him actually. A fella called Ian Slack, and he used to say to me that in a workshop, any kind, you've got to have eyes like a shit out of rats. And it's true, because something falls on the floor, you've got to have to pot it straight away. It's one of those things which we gradually develop over time. But say before, this one comes off here, again carefully. Yeah. There's no rush. The thing, it hasn't worked for years and years, so you know there's no rush to get it working, but get it going. So take your time. Take your time. There's no rush, none at all. It's coming, but it's slow, because the grease and stuff under here, again, or whatever's in here, has virtually gone solid, and it's got to come off for the thing to work. So we've got to sort out the best way to get it off. So again, the thing goes on its back like so, and again we just teddy it and daddy it and daddy it and daddy it until it comes off, just like before. It's coming, it's coming, it's coming, it's coming, it's coming. Like before, daddy it and it comes off. Dead simple. There we are. So again there. Now if you look at that with your fingers, you'll find your fingers don't move across it evenly or smoothly, because of course it's got the grease on. So what we do, again, give it a spray, give it a clean, like that. It all comes off, which it will. This has not been done to this boat. This is new, so you know. Although somebody has been here in here change control, I don't think it's done much else. So that they're clean, and so we go into here now. And we put a bit of that into there and into there, and we put something through to make it to clean it out. Okay, then this then won't go. Again, get a corner, twist it up like that, put it through, put it all the way through, like that, and again just and again for the other side as well, same thing. Get a corner, put it in, put it through, and clean inside that one, and that one too, exactly the same way. You know, when I've only got one arm, things can be very difficult for you, but I always get there in the end. Okay, so now that can go back onto there like that, and that back onto there like that. Look at that now, you see. That's the way it should be. That's the way that should be. So I'll put the spring clip on before we lose it. Again, where's the plies? There we go. And very carefully, just squeeze it on. There we go. On. Thank you very much. It's on. So again, that one is now looking the same as that one. So now we see, even that is now a lot cleaner, because of a lot easier, because of course all this has been done to it as well. But I'm going to leave that off for now, because I want to look at the speed control here. You know, I really like to get a manual, you know, but well, I should actually. I want to know how that speed control works actually. I'm not so sure about it. I see. Okay. Okay. I'll the bit that causes the speed control to vary is under here, so this has to come off as well. So we're now taking another part of the deck apart, and hopefully getting it back together again in one piece. We hope, don't we? We always hope. So again, move the deck round so it's facing towards it, like that. Push it down, look at the monitor, make sure you can see it on the camera. There you go. And then we'll look at this lot here. So we're taking off by the way, if you're not sure which one to take off, don't take them out, just loosen them. It's surprising how loosening thing can help you where taking stuff apart properly can't. Okay, fair enough. I'll come back to that one. That one's okay, right? This one's been changed, I think. And this one here. But there's always one. Whenever in a job like this, there's always one screw which does not want to come out. There's always one. Sometimes it feels like there's a devil is directing things, but there's always one screw which does not want to come out under any circumstances. Again, patience is the key here. Not that one, obviously. Back to this one. Okay, well I'll leave that for a minute, and I'll take off this here. Now this here, the head thing, this is the capstan, which I want cleaning, and you move it with the rest of it. Again, the TD2 deck is exactly the same as the TD10 here. The only difference actually, well two actually, so you can't actually swap between the two because this is a 7-inch reel deck and the TD2 is a 5-inch, 5.75-inch reel deck. That's something else. But apart from that, it's the same. So that comes off. Again, carefully. Where's that gone? Okay, right, so that comes off. This comes off here, like so. And that comes off as well. Be careful with this, with that, by the way, that spring there on the side there. It is important, so don't lose that. Do not lose that under any circumstance. It's got one. They're used in certain BSI record players as well, so you know they are actually quite a component that's in demand. So if you've got one, you know, keep it close. So that comes off like that. That comes off. By the spring, by the way, it's this thing here. Hold up to camera. It's that. Okay. Don't lose that spring. Okay. Just just don't. Okay. Head drums can stop on there. These come off like that. where that spring clip's gone. Went down there, didn't it? Hang on. I'll find it. I'll find it. That one comes off. Like that. And so now we're going back to this one here. That's tight, isn't it, that? Tight, that, isn't it? Like I said, there's always one. There's always one. So I got this off by fair means or foul and I laid it on the front of the deck there. Underneath here doesn't look too bad. That must need grease on that. I'll do. I'll clean it first. But the speed control is only different between the TD10 and the TD2, and it in here you see there is that spool there which drives the caps, drives this here. This moves up and down the motor shaft, and it's directed into doing that by this here. It is. I'm sorry the camera's in the way, but underneath here there is little thing which takes between the 3 speeds. Yeah, like that. You see, like that, like that. Yeah. Now this is what's jammed or virtually jammed. It's coming loose as I work it. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to this side is okay. This side isn't here, so I'm going to clean everything up down here thoroughly, because again, cleanliness is next to godliness with this sort of thing. Whichever god you worship, that's the case. So cleanliness is next to godliness. What I've done is I've got if you look, you see, they actually operate this as well here. You see the attached to it. So all this down here has to be cleaned, otherwise it won't work. It's simple as that. It's just that's okay, you see. It's this here. So this has to be thoroughly cleaned, and then of course, hopefully, this unit can then go back together. And I'll do these with some rubber review, and maybe give the motor a drop of oil, and then the deck should be ready to go. Then I can put this back on as well. So if you look, you see, there's grease here which is literally dried rock hard. So I'm going to that and get in with the fingers and get as much off as I can, like that. Okay, straight away it's loosened it straight away. So again here, it's coming more to life straight away. This here also needs to be given a clean. Again, this is just switchly liquid. It's very dry. It's a very soft lubricant. This, you know, I use this first and then use a more shall we say, the harder lubricants if this doesn't work, because of course I'd rather not risk any problems to the rest of the unit. So there we are. So there it goes, there to there. And also the one screw which I had trouble taking out was this one here, and it has a spring on it which holds this in place as well. So now that appears to be working rather better than it was. let's face it, could be much worse, could it? You know, we actually try and get this thing to work properly. It takes, well, not as much time so much as patience, you know. You get it right. It's much the same as a record play spindle. Same principle exactly. A record play spindle, of course, has one of these on the motor, and it goes a turntable. If they think of this here as the turntable, and this is the idle wheel, it's exactly the same principle. Exactly the same. Now, of course, it's all back together. The speed control works on all speeds, and of course, it also winds in both directions and plays as well. I've not actually got the speaker connected up yet, and the electronics have been partly disconnected for now. But just saying, what I'm going to look at obviously is the winding and make sure that works. So here we are on playback. Yeah, right, there we are, 3 3/4 inches. Yep. That's for forward. That's rewind. That's for forward. That's play. And that switch is here. So now goes on. Now it should be on 7/8. Well, it will be in 6. There we are. That should be 7.5, and that should be 1 7/8, and the middle speed, of course, is 3 3/4. So there you are. That's working now on all speeds. So the deck is done, but now of course we've got to do the electronics. Now the electronics on the tape recorders are fairly simple. Like I said, the same board on these, by the way, is also in the some popular 200, 400, etc. This will probably amount to a 400. And also I noticed that the magic art is green all the way across. This happens because the resistor going short circuit, going open circuit, which I think is this one here, which I'll be changing as well. So now we go to electronics with the speaker connected and see what happens when I've connected it, sorted out one or two little faults. Then of course, most thing I'm going to do is put the hang on, plug it back in again. There we are. Pull the tape off. Pull the tape off. Like so. Need to look at that again and see if it'll and then from there we'll see if it'll play nicely and give us a nice tunes, as it were. Like I said, these tape recorders, the only difference between this deck and the TD2 is the speed control. That's the only difference between the two. Also, there's also another pulley attached to the splice spool, which drives the counter, which is here. All this is now in and working and clean. So now we're going to the electronics, which is should be fairly simple, but we say that, but we don't know. So I'm going to have a quick look at the circuit and decide what needs to be changed. Actually, it's on for a bit, and the voltage is still okay, and the tuning capacitor, the reading capacitor underneath here is not getting hot, so that's suddenly something to call, actually, that. So that's something else in our favour. Electronically, this is in very good condition. I've had a couple of days in the house actually with the head cold, so I've not been out this for a couple of days. I should put later on the video script, but I can't be asked really. But we're back on it now, and I've had a think actually, and something which I must do at this stage before I go any further. I've wired up a speaker, as you can see. I've not sold it on because these connections here go straight onto the speaker in the case, which is over there. But although these are all back on and working, by the way, working quite well in fact, back and forth, up and down, yeah. There you are, and there, yeah, yeah. There's something else which we must do with these before we go any further. You might find this odd, but there is a reason for it. These have to be at a certain height, yeah, and they're put at the height with washers underneath, yeah. Now, with everything being at that height, the spindle, the spool, will grate on the top of the cabinet, which is here. This won't become apparent until the unit's put back together again. So what I will do is I will put this back on here, and then only then will I fire it up and see if it works again. Because then, if it does anything stupid, I know straight away that I have to take the spindles off again. So that's the next thing I've got to do. So that's our next job. So on it goes. Correctly, of course. It might take a bit of time, but we'll do it, and then we will make the thing. Put a reel on and make sure that the unit doesn't actually do anything what it shouldn't, as it were. So that's the next thing we do. I can't see why it doesn't want to go back on yet. I'm sure we'll at some stage, but a bit thick, you know, sometimes. Yeah. So what I'll do is I'll put it on and I'll tighten it, and then of course I'll wind it back and forth, and we'll see that we'll make sure that it doesn't scrape itself. That's the first thing to do. This might seem, like I say, might seem a strange way to do it, but you know, there is madness in the method. Or method in the madness, depending on how we're going to look at it. Basically, I've had this before with tape recorders, and this fault does not show itself until you're putting the thing back together again. Then you've got to take the whole thing apart again, and in a way back to square one, which I don't really want to be, you know. I want to get on to the next unit, you know, because of course there's stuff in here which I actually think I've to look at quite a lot. So anyway, I will put this on and I'll come back to you in a moment. I'm doing things off camera sometimes because I'm disabled, as you know, and I don't want to bore you all. So something I took the camera off to sort something out, and that was one. Anyway, the top is now on the deck, not been cleaned yet, but that to come. And so put it in like that. First of all, there's a 7-inch reel there, and if you look, it should go in that direction. Well, should do. Something else up here, I think. Again, none of this happened until the thing was back in its case, so I don't really know. But this was something which, again, I'll have to look at. But for now, I'll just try and force it back. I will try and make it work the way it's supposed to do. Sometimes with tape recorders, this sort of thing is common, and you have to take the rough with the smooth, or the smooth with the rough, depending on. So now, going one way or the other, we should get one of these here to turn. It's here that something is blocking underneath. So I'll like that. Okay. Supposing I just lift that up a bit, slightly, might make it a bit easier to get to go right back where it is. So there you go. Right. No. Now of course we go that way. That's clear, and it cleared the deck as well, completely. We go the other way as well. It should also be clear of the deck, which it is, like so. So that's okay. Now, as far as play goes, seeing as we're here, I'll load up the test tape here, and we'll see if it sounds okay on both tracks. I think one track is better than the other here. It might be heads out, be clean. There might be a alignment, but let's just see if we do get any playback on it. Just for the hell of it, you know. So on goes the World Record Club, by the way. It doesn't need to do very much either. And we'll see once we can get it to go all the way to the top. There we are. Put this back on here, like that. It's not my night, is it? Okay. It goes. And at 1 7/8. It's obviously better on one track than the other, which is fair enough. I mean, it's at the moment it's still, you know, it's a stage where we need to work on it a bit more to get it right. But again, that will come in time, as always, with these sorts of units. So I will now take this off the deck here and have a look inside and find out what is fouling as soon as I put the lid on. Again, this happens. This unit has been worked on before, and I think that something is getting in the way of something it shouldn't. So let's have a look. I cleaned it up before, but go done properly. But I do know from that the spindles run okay, that everything else is okay, but something somewhere is fouling. So have a look inside and find out exactly what it is. Of course, when the deck's right, I'll go to the electronics, which is the next job along. And I know some Magic Eyes doing one or two strange things as well, so that the other cat as well. And also with the electronics, power supply and audio first of all, and then with playback okay, 'cause I think that's a bit low personally. We're going to look at the oscillator stage. Now, on decks like, on machines like this, it's quite clever. The 8-put stage, we switch to record, switched over to an oscillator. In the expensive machines, like the Binells and the Francis, that sort of thing, it tends to be rather more it's looking okay now. Look at that. Oh well, never mind. These things are sent to trials, are they not? And of course, trials they will. But at least we know for that these are okay. So we'll look further into that and find out everything else that needs to be sorted out. Yeah, something somewhere obviously needs to be. What I don't really know is I've cleaned the heads a bit, not properly. So I cleaned the heads again, and we'll take it from there. I've now got the spring put back on. I found it in the end, and Andy did it for me. Thank you very much for that, Andy. Much appreciated. I can't do everything because I've got one hand, but I'll do my best, and here we go. At this stage now, we know the spindles don't have any causing any problems. They're okay. So now we switch to play, like so. Now in this case, as you can hear, every so often it slows down for a second. Hear it? Yeah. Now test it's a wonderful thing because you can let the thing run and have a listen and find out what's going on. And in this case, if you look, where's my glasses? Glasses. Never do this, by the way. In fact, losing glasses at just the wrong moment. Anyway, what happens is that this wheel here, the capstan wheel, is actually appears with a problem. This here, you see, is moving back in time to music. See? Because it's doing that, yeah, we know the problem is probably here. So at this point now, have a look and find out what's going on here. Because with this system here, this here puts the spring against the spring, puts the capstan against the idler with the tape going through, and it should go at constant speed. At this moment it's probably not. Well, we know it's not because you can hear it. So this wheel has obviously been what's it the wrong thing? We're going round manually with it like that, or like that to get it right around. It does the same sort of things, you see. No, it doesn't. Okay. So therefore, I must think that capstan is either rubbing unit or tinting. I've got another capstan there now, so I might well put that in. But that's one thing. The other thing, of course, is that on this deck also, the speed on playback, the speedback thing, playback speed here, isn't still right. Now, all this lot here has been loosened, it's fine, as you can hear. But unfortunately, it doesn't want to do what it should. And the reason why it doesn't want to do what it should is because that wheel there, I just take the tape off so I can point to it. There you go, right. Okay. This wheel here on the circuit here goes against the capstan, which has got three width settings inside here, and transfers the speed to the idler and the capstan here. That's how it works. I said it before. Now, this capstan, this wheel here, this idler wheel, is not properly aligned with this, which is the motor. So two things I have to do now are, first of all, maybe put a washer or two in there, and they might have flown off in time, I don't know. And also look at this here. Now this here, it could be like that because of the spring and the way it's mounted in, or it could be like that because the capstan also does feel to me anyway a little bit rough, so it could be either one. So first thing we do is get some of this noxious fluid here. Believe me, this stuff is noxious. Yeah, and a rag. Look, a rag, you see. And what this stuff does is it does exactly what it said on the bottle. Yeah, and what it said on the bottle is rubber renew, which is what it does. Yeah, it renews the rubber. Yeah, dead simple. So I put rubber renew on, and I then let it hopefully renew the rubber. So don't we take this apart again? That's the last time. What it does is it makes the rubber go back to where it was before, which was a bit freer. Rubber goes hard over time, you see, and when it does, this stuff can put more moisture back in the rubber, if you like, more moisture or whatever. I'm not a rubber specialist, so I couldn't tell you. And it will in fact over time make the thing work again, suitable for the purpose in question. Just the fact that it was used a lot in newspaper presses back in the day. That might still be, but that's another story for another day. Also, I've used it also on video heads, on video systems as well, to restore realizers when there wasn't one available. So anyway, that goes into that. Okay, that's okay. And now we'll look at the other bit here. Now we're not getting any on the rubber, I hope. Oh, never mind. Now we see, put a little bit there and there like that. Put it at high speed, get some more rubber in you, and let it, and hopefully it'll we'll put some more on with it moving, and hopefully the thing will in time realise that we've been good for it, nothing else, and it'll start to work. We never know, you never know with these things, but that's the idea anyway, so there you are. It's coming already actually, so we'll just let it, there we go. So I'll let that run for a minute, and hopefully it'll, see, if you look now actually, it's not actually moving that spring a bit like it used to before, so it's probably a bit better now. That spring is now not moving like it was before, so hopefully now, if I was to put the tape back on, it should sound, hopefully, somewhat better. I might need to do it again, but this is the next thing we'll do. That stuff, rubber, by the way, it's not something which I handle lightly, because it's interesting stuff. It's not on level of carbon tetrachloride, I don't think, but you know, chemicals like that, we do have to be careful with them, so just be aware. And right before your very eyes, the rubber is renewed. Good, isn't it? The next thing we've got to look at here is the speed control issue again. So we take the tape off again, unplug it, and have a closer look at this here. Put a light on, light show, and we'll have a look and find out what it is and isn't doing or meant to be doing. It's I think this needs to be up a bit, I think. Not a lot. This is a washer or two in there, and that should be alright. That's the next thing we have to do. So now I'm going to take this spindle off again to give me a bit more room to lift this out and put a washer or two underneath, and then put it back in. That's the next thing we have to do. In this case, there are two places where I could have put a washer to make that up a bit so that it didn't foul there. I took this wheel here out and put a washer underneath, and lo and behold, things are now rather better than they were. So now you see, if I was to switch on like that, and now we see what's happened. Now we see this wheel here will also vary as well as the capstan and the idle, because that's just the way this system works. So now you see, do that, 7.5, see it's slow there, and there again. Okay. Now, if we're going to put a tape on there, which I'm going to do sort of like now. Come on. Thank you very much. Right. Now that comes like that. There you see. See there. By the way, also with this, there are tape guides for this that are on the unit, which are not there when it's not on. So that can cause a problem. But now, if I was to do that now, you see, this will now be going too fast. That's the right speed, 3 3/4 for this tape. And that's 1 7/8. Okay. Now, also in this case, the only real difference between this deck and the TD2 is the speed control, and it's something which you do need to look at on these decks quite often. Possibly what happened was that one of the washer underneath broke and split away. It does happen, so that's probably what caused that. But now that's okay. That's okay. The deck is now more or less okay. So now we're going into electronics. At this point now, there are one or two things which really need to be looked at in a little bit of detail here. It might be low because that is not the right speaker for it. The right speaker is in that cabinet down there. It's a lot bigger than that, so that's probably why. But so we'll get it as good as we can. Now, volume control on this has been changed, and the volume control on this unit is P1, P1, which is look at the circuit, try and spot it. I found it on the circuit, but I don't know what volume it should be. typical, isn't it? T1, P1, not R1, I don't think. Not R1, but P1. P1 is not on this circuit, so I think what I might be doing here now is going getting the circuit and making sure that P1 is what it should be. Just for the record, P1 on this deck is goes to 10k, and the sun go. That goes to deck. That end goes to deck, and that end is more than it should be. Again here, we check it on both. Right, so that's low, that's low, and that's still low. So maybe something like a meg this. 500k. Okay, so I'll look at the diagram and make sure that is the right pot, because in some cases whichever pot they put in is one that's come to hand, so always was checking it, you should find one that's been changed, and this one has. So I'll look and find out what that pot should be, and come back to you with it presently. That volume control is right, by the way. I know because I've got the data for this machine here. With that being okay at 500k, where's logger a pot doesn't really matter. That only controls the speed at which the volume advances when it's turned. But turn every up on full, yeah, and switch on, and very quickly and carefully we go through the electrics. Okay. Now it goes to the transformer and the diode, and the diode comes down to here. Okay, the diode goes down to, turn that down for now. Diode goes down to this capacitor here, and these resistors. So it should be. Change it to that. So that's okay. Okay. Now going over to this valve here now, you see, we should have voltages on pins numbered pin number 6. That is, whichever one that is. That's there, so coming down here now, should have something on pin 1, which is the capacitor from the second ECC 83 stage, which is there, and that is at 0. So that's about right, because there's a capacitor and a resistor on the cathode. So that's about right. Okay, moving on very quickly. We should have voltages on pin number 6. Pin number 6, which is, well, I know that we have. And that's okay. That's pin 6. That's the output transformer. That's okay. And also, there should be something on pin number 3, which is there. Which there is. So that's okay. Now, pin 7 of this should have voltage on it as well. That's the cathode voltage, which is about there, about 6 volts. I'll check that on a low range to be sure. 8 volts. Okay, fine. So that's okay. Therefore, there should be on pin 9 there should be at this point nothing. If anything on pin 9, the cat weight change. But I noticed on this it's one of the Phillips ones, so it should be okay. At this point we find it's not, but there we go. That's the way things are in this trade, unfortunately. So pin number 9 should have on it, well, not a right lot. If it does, then we go and look elsewhere in the circuit, after checking to make sure I've got the right pin. Because sometimes you see they do miss pin. It should be pin number 8, and not pin number 9. Always check and make sure you've got the right pin with the data, because they can sometimes be wrong. So pin 8, which is that one. Okay, so pin 8, so that's okay. That means therefore that capacitor rate, that is okay. Now moving on from there very quickly, we should have a voltage on pin, I think it's number 9 as well. 155. Okay. Now I'm not 100% sure about that, so I'll look under it. I'll switch it off, let it cool down, and locate R4 on the circuit diagram, because that might be the one that's got the problem. R4. R4. Now, depending on how low it is, how high it's gone, we can either leave it or change it depending on. But that is this one here. So deck 2. So now, therefore, R4 goes from pin number 9 here to there, and it then there goes to there. It does fine. Your R4 should be 220k. So it should be 220k. Whichever way it goes. It's a bit higher than it should be. Not that it's too bad, but it's higher than it should be. I might change that, I might not, but would depends on that. But we know that the E86 stage is working. Now, if put the volume up now, there should be voltages on pins 1 and pin 6 of the ECC83. By the way, ECC81, 2 and 3, remember which is which in the American numbers by thinking about the Linux Penguin, Tux Penguin, you see? Just for interest, TU8, 12AT7 is ECC81, 12AU7 is ECC82, and 12AX7 is ECC83. That's just a little nod to the wise there. Pin 1 is that one there. Pin 1 is this one here. pin 1 and pin 6. So pin 1 and pin 6. Okay, fine. Pin 1 is this one here. You need to find out before you I'll go round the ball and check what's where actually. Might be a quick way of doing it. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, okay. And the other one another thing with these beads, by the way, is that the 12.6 volt heater with a tap, so sometimes they run on 6.3 and most times they'll run on 12.6. It all depends on how it's wide, but you can actually switch the heaters in and out separately on these as well. That's something else to be aware of. So that was okay, and the other one, pin numbers 1 and 6. There we are. So that's those two. Anyway, so the 8P side of it appears to be okay. Just to be sure I've not done anything to upset the unit at this point, apart putting the phone too near it, I will now put this on again and we'll listen to the first few bars of Taste Specific again. That's okay. So I'm inclined at the moment to actually think that the electrics on this are okay as far as playback is concerned. So now we've got to go over to record. Now to record, the ECC3 and the first half of the ECL86 I used to feed the audio through to the heads, and the output stage ECC of the ECL86 is converted to an oscillator which operates on for bias and also erase. Some sets, by the way, have a switch with this. Mainly disconnects the eraser. So if a radio in that's not erasing, but the mic sounds okay through it, then the chances are that it's that's all debated itself. But these days people are more interested in playing with these rather than recording them. So there you go. So I'll get another tape from somewhere, a blank one possibly, and we'll see what we can find to do that with. Right, a new tape on. Don't know what's on it, but I think we can live without it because I've done for years. So at this point now, we think about putting this thing into record. There we go, record. There is nothing connected So it should simply erase the tape and nothing else. Okay? Which it has. Okay? Go to the other track and do the same thing. Okay, so it's erasing okay. That means that the erase oscillator and the eraser and all that are fine. So now, what I've got to do now is find a microphone that works. I don't think this one does. And see if it'll. See if, I'll try this one. If this doesn't work, the chances are it's the mic itself. But we'll see. One, two, three, four, five, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That might be that might be distorted because it's too high. So I'll set that midway, and we'll try that again. One, two, three, four, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I've heard better. I've heard better recordings than that, but like I said, it might be this microphone now. I'll check that, but it might be this mic. Anyway, just to check that the other track is okay. Same again. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 8, 10. 3, 2, 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 8, 10. It's distorted, but it does work. So I'll get another microphone and we'll try that again. But before we do that, let's have a quick look at the circuit again. The mic socket goes in there, goes up, and the playback does too. The playback's okay, and so the only thing it can be is possibly feedback. But I will check. I'll get another mic and we'll check again. So I'm not convinced about that microphone. It does play okay through it, but that is no guarantee. Well, we haven't got a mic to hand, I'm afraid. I will get one and come back to you on that. What's also with this machine, another thing which has happened here, is that the magic eye, that fifth valve here, just goes green right the way across and nothing else. Now, this problem is quite common with these tape recorder magic eyes. And if you look at the base of any of these units, there's a resistor. On this one it's 470k, and they tend to go high in value. When they go high in value, this is what happens. So if I put that on there like that, yeah, that side, well, 0 is near as damn it, and the other side of it is open circuit, completely open circuit, completely and utterly open circuit, as you'll see there. It's going. The capacitor part of that is completely open circuit. So this resistor here on the valve base here has to be changed. That's the one thing that does happen with these. So I'll change that, and we'll take it from there. So I'll go and get a 70k resistor and fit it, and hopefully this magic eye will once again work. After that, actually, what I'll do, I'll find a microphone of sorts and we'll test the record. Then, sometimes with a tape recorder, any tape recorder, not just this one here, they come across a fault we've not seen before. This was no exception. Yes, the 470 ohm K ohm resistor was open circuit on the back here. I put a big one in because it's all I had basically. But I'll put the new, I'll put the original anti-magic car valve back in, and it went zero at all times, even though the machine was still recording. I don't understand that. But anyway, I changed these two caps on the resistor under here, just in case, you know, and it was the same. Although it played okay and recorded more or less okay, but not quite, it wouldn't actually record anything. It wouldn't actually read anything at all. The grid on these is on pin 1. So the grid on these goes down through the cold play switch after going through a diode and a capacitor. Basically, to cut a long story short, and believe me, it was a long story, it was the valve itself that had gone cathode grid short circuit, which meant that it wouldn't read anything at all. Actually, I found I could read this 0 ohms on my ohm meter. It was that bad. This is a Brimmer EM84, by the way. Now, how it got like that, I don't know. It's not something that I've seen before. Maybe you have, I don't know, but I haven't. So, yeah. Anyway, with that in as well, I've now got a good, clean, green magic eye here as normal. It glows on green when it's sat here doing nothing. If you go to record now, play for it all. There you go. Now putting these into record for me is a bit interesting. I'll show you how we do it. Yeah. That goes out like that. Right. Anyway. 1, 2, 3. Hang on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The speaker's a bit dodgy, by the way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. Now going onto the other track and doing the same thing, we get the same sort of result. One, two, three. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 3, 4, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So it's now recording and playing on both tracks as well. So this machine basically is done. Now I don't put the machine back together straight away because of course I'll leave it open for a bit and playing, which I've done with this already, because I want to see if anything else crops up. I don't think anything will on this, but we need to see. Now, Magic Eye circuit, it draws 8 teeth from the 8 tail, obviously, which is why I placed those 2 resistors under here. By the way, there's a mistake on the tape recorder servicing brick of these, by the way. The voltage to the Magic Eye comes from before R7, not after it on the circuit, so something's looking for though. But with these valves, if it goes low, you can put more voltage in by going further back down the 8T line. You don't need 2 of these because these are still for common, but with some radios you can do that. Another tip from the top there. And also with this, you could have changed all the capacitors in this and it would still have been faulty. Just something to think about there for all the capacity the idiots out there. So yeah. Anyway, it seems to be working now. Yeah, so all the components measure okay, but it's okay, so it's time now to put it together, which I will do a bit at a time, and we'll see from that if it works. So what you do, put it in the case, try it, put the lid on this thing here, try it and so on, and make sure at all stages that the thing still works, because in a lot of these cases something else will happen, always does. So you can't just put it together and hope for the best. Also with this, by the way, this speaker is not the best, so put on its own speaker, it will probably be rather a lot better as well. So I will now go and give certain parts of this cabinet a clean, then we'll put it together, and then hopefully this will be ready to go back into service here in the workshop or somewhere else. For £1, it's not a bad deal. I know there are a lot of these about, but this decade's quite rare, and it's used on several machines, but this is the first one I've had here, so yeah. Basically it's a TD2 deck with a speed control, that's all it is. But you can't just swap bits over, because unfortunately with these, the deck is slightly bigger, so it's something else to look out for. Anyway, there we are. It's an LZ34. The LZ32, by the way, I have a track control because it's only 2-track machine, but it does instead have a switch to switch out the eraser for recording. A lot of machines do that. All that does is take out the eraser from the circuit. The oscillator running, we know that because it records okay, so that just puts the eraser out of circuit. You know, it's most things which it did is a trick machine. So anyway, I now put this thing together, and yeah, put it together and try it again. With a bit of luck, it might still work. You never know. Well, here's the unit back together again. When you're putting like this back together, by the way, don't just put it together and test it. Test it. Every bit you put on, test it. Every bit you put on, test it. I'd take this apart again because, of course, there's a problem with the switch here again. So something was not put together quite right. There's 2 screws on the board underneath. One is essentially sunk and one isn't. I got the 2 the wrong way around, so, and it fouled this switch, which I've sorted now. But as you can hear, there you are, working away nicely, and all tracks and all bars now, and clear as well, so it's back to good health, as it were. A lot of it is in problems with this actually. First of all, the deck, most of the advice I've given about cleaning this TD10 also applies to the TD2, but not the speed control, obviously. Speed control is similar to what you get in a record player, and also there's an idler wheel in here, which the capstan in here, which drives the capstan and idler from the motor, so that has to be at the right height as well, otherwise it'll fail. That's something else. But the really interesting one about this actually is this valve. It's a magic car valve, EM84. Now, the EM84 is a common valve that very rarely fails. So you don't have to worry about upping the voltage to it, because it's still fairly common. The one that you see here now actually came out of a scrap machine, so yeah, it's fine. So, you know, always scrap machines. Never throw a scrap machine of anything away, by the way, because you never know what might be in it that you might need. But anyway, this first of all, it was green all the way across. If you switch it on from cold, you'll see the eyes inside here go out to nothing, and that's it. That's because of 470k resistor on the power supply side. Power supply on these goes to more than one pin. It goes to the HTs on the triode, and also on the the thing which brings up the green as well, so that's got to both, and the 470 k resistor in between them. That does go high in value and cause that problem. But with this one then, it wouldn't be, and this valve actually is so. I wonder if you can see it, if we can see it on the meter here. Switch the meter up, yeah. Now, but when a valve is not connected to anything, which this one isn't now, yeah, you wouldn't normally expect there to be any resistance, but on this one there is. Why that is, I really don't know. But there isn't. But there is on this, and what's more, it's virtually short circuit. Which again was something which I never thought I'd see. It never ever reach the conclusion in any form of electronics, never be seen everything, because you haven't. I haven't seen this before. Maybe you have, and if you have, maybe tell me about it, because this is something completely new to me. This valve, I know it might not do it now actually, you see, but there you go. The pin 1 is the grid, and pin 3 is the cathode. Yeah. Now, when you short pin 1 and pin 3 on these valves, you will not get any display on it at all. But there you are. That is actually. You can see it on camera. Hang on. Can you see that? Yeah. The valve is here. Here's the valve, and it's the funny thing is that even with it short circuit between pins 1 and 3, it is really short circuit. Look at that. That's what it becomes. See, and that is between pins 1 and pins 3. There you are. They're not connected. Now, I've never seen that in a valve before, and actually, because that was short into deck, it affected the record and playback on this machine as well. So yeah. It was an interesting one, that. I don't know whether to keep that and take it apart and just tuck it. Something must be touching in there somewhere, but I don't see where. I've tried shaking it and dropping it on the bench and stuff, but it still does it. So really is no use to man the beast, except possibly as power on, but nothing else. What else? That's it really. They're quite good deck, these. They came about because BS the TD2 deck only did 3 3/4 RPS. This did all 3, which other decks did at the time. So BSL were very come up with something quick, and they modified the TD2 deck, and it became the TD10. Parts wise, you can't swap many because the TD10 is a bigger deck. So again, that's something else which you have to look out for. The electronics on this are fine now. As you can hear. Hang on, something's stopping that. Believe me. There we are. Yeah. It was me. So there we are. Anyway, there it is, working away quite happily, and ready to go back into service somewhere. I don't know where, but it will do. So there you are, a working happy machine again after all this time. And well, good luck to it, I say, because of course, well, why shouldn't we wish it that? Anyway. By the way, also, Katie told me about a film this week called Happy Little Toaster. It's well seen over Christmas. It's on YouTube, and you can get it on, I think it's Amazon, or one, two of those. And it, similarity between the master in the film and me is pretty coincidental, but you never know, do you? That radio looked like a Zenith to me, a Zenith AM/FM, but there you go. So over Christmas, well, have a look at that. Meanwhile, I'm going to go and listen to some music. So until next time, goodbye, God bless, and keep fitting radios and TVs and tape recorders. Nice one. And I'll see you soon. Until then, goodbye, and may your God be with you wherever He is, and be loyal to Him. Goodbye, take care, and have a good Christmas. Bye bye.